Well, how many times have you heard a story that starts like this? I was having a drink with some friends and we had this great idea.
Well, often those stories are better if they end right there. But in this case, the story that started with this premise is still going 30 years later and has raised millions of dollars. Photojournalist Jeremy Nichols has that story and a little history lesson to go with it.
When the horn sounds for this Saturday's Crazylegs Classic, more than 20,000 people will make their way from the Capitol Square to Camp Randall Stadium. And while there are newcomers every year, there are also a lot of repeat customers.
This is my third time.
This will be my fifth year.
Since the very beginning, I've done it about 6, 7 different times.
Runners, alphabetical order.
But would you be surprised to learn that most people don't know how it started? Some don't even know who Crazylegs was.
It's a football player, I know. Crazyleg is a football player or was a football player.
I know it has something to do with Elroy Hirsch, Crazylegs.
I have no idea how this started.
I know who Crazylegs is. He was a football player that had a really goofy stride, but that's all I know.
Well, that's a start. He did play football, both at Wisconsin and Michigan, and later in the NFL. He also served in the Marines during World War II and later became athletic director at the UW. But it still doesn't answer the question of how the race started.
I have no idea.
No, I don't.
Whose idea was it?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
As the race developed in here, Elroy would line himself up here at about the 15-yard line, and as everybody came in, he had a high five for everybody to the point where his hand would get so sore.
Former Badger football player Tom Grantham knows the answer. Actually, he is the answer. Along with some friends, Grantham popped the question to the athletic director, and Elroy Hirsch said yes.
After he'd been here a few years, I approached him with the idea of starting this, because there were a group of us guys that used to run a lot, and then we'd like to have our favorite beverage afterwards. And Elroy would like to have that too.
That was 30 years ago. Grantham and friends also asked Crazylegs if they could use his nickname, with the proceeds going to UW Athletics. Would it surprise you to know that this all started over a beer?
No.
Absolutely not.
This is Wisconsin.
Runners, alphabetical order.
I think what people really identify with the name, whether they know him or not, but it symbolizes athletics at the University of Wisconsin, and a guy who really brought a lot of credibility back to the athletic program when he came here.
Hopefully everybody that's involved with it understands a little bit of the history and does so with his honor. But it's a good thing, and I hope to keep doing it as long as I can too.
That was Jeremy Nichols reporting. It's not too late to sign up for Crazylegs. You can sign up tomorrow morning before the race between 7 and 9 a.m. at the Nicholas Johnson Pavilion on Dayton Street. The run begins at 10 o'clock, rain or shine, on the Capitol Square with our own Jay Wilson, the master of ceremonies.